And
So we're all going through the window, basically, except
yeah,
for
except
Romel.
Vito. No,
Oh,
except
and
Vito.
oh, okay.
Except Vito. Vito waiting until you got high grounds so you can take their attention and Vito can shoot from the back.
Okay, is there anybody who doesn't know which window we're talking about? Is okay, so we're gonna turn left when we leave the first room. We look straight. It'll be right above the up pack. If you look straight up, you'll see the window for sure.
I think I know
Yeah,
which
yeah, that
K-pop
window.
group
Okay.
that girl comes from, but I don't want to
Your
guess
Okay.
because
main
I'm trying
your
to do a
main
VOD
goal
review.
is to go for this window
Okay,
as fast as you can
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to skip these
because
first
they
few
can.
seconds. Okay,
No skin, so sad.
I know,
Speed boost
right?
into the room. Three,
Other
two, one,
choice.
go. Speed boost into
Alright,
the room.
that's good.
Okay, go up the window, window, window,
Almost
window.
everyone's falling, so
I
this is something that
don't know.
us Ruby already know, is that we had a plan. Alex was explaining it, but we never tried it out, and it's our first time, and we're doing it on a test match, so everyone's confused on what the hell to do.
Window.
Oh, what?
Okay, Ruby immediately
We're
knows where,
separated.
but that is not exactly what should be happening on that plan. So let's play this with subtitles.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe. Dang it, I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Okay, this is fine. And this is where you press shift again. This, or where you press melee. Mainly because you see this platform right here, that's where you should generally like stop at. So, one, you're still technically on high ground. Two, you have a better, and just basically just this part is easier. You're supposed to stop here, then go up the treehouse through this tiny little alleyway here, and then start fighting, and well, start placing right there. Easy, done. But that wasn't communicated in the plan, and we didn't try it out. So you ended up in a horrible position, which is below the enemy team. Again, we were trying to be Obi-Wan, and they're trying to make them Anakin. I'll always use a Star Wars reference. You're gonna hate it, but you're gonna like remember it, and you're gonna use it when you teach other people. High ground, you have the advantage when you have the high ground. No one likes that episode, but it's still a good reference, Nagisa.
Okay.
Good attempts. You tried to eat it, or eat
Yeah.
the grenade, but you took too much damage,
They're running
and got
guns.
little to nothing.
But I'm gonna the same, even though they're running guns.
Do you want to switch? Okay. They're not gonna separate though because they're running goats.
They can't go on high grounds. They can't jump on high grounds. So
Yep. Go right side. Right
you
side.
all can.
Is that
Right
cheating
side.
because
Right
he
side.
is talking to us?
Together. Together.
Technically, yes.
Ooh.
So, I would. We were going to excuse it for that test day because it was, well, it's more like a scrim to us at that point. So, in the future, this is the only time that I will ever talk during a test match while you are playing to give you directions and all that. My test rules, I cannot say anything. I cannot help you during the match. I cannot be ghosting. I cannot give coaching during the match. But I can do it between maps. I can do it between maps. I can help with that. But I cannot do it uh, while the map is going. Neither can any other spectators on your team. I know, Negi. So yes, that's a little bit of cheating.
Go. We have to move faster.
Negi! Not that!
Okay.
Okay, need to rewind this and see what happens in this fight.
right room.
Okay.
Together.
Follow directions, yes. Good. That's bad.
Oh, we have to move faster.
You are correct right there, Christy. You have to move faster. Because now, you have a very bright and blurry screen, can't see what's going on.
Together.
2, alright, you're all waiting in this room. That's a death room right now. The longer you wait in there, the bigger, the worse it can get. And then, the only person who's out there is your off tank, who can technically give you the most protection aside from the main tank, which is Winston. D.Va can eat a lot of shots. D.Va can go out first and block out the shots while you all moving up these stairs. But you're not moving fast enough. For some reason, our Genji, I think it says Morny, yeah, it says Morny, so it's Thicky. Our Thicky is going in their face. He should not be doing that. He should be just following. That's something that Thicky doesn't do so much. While he does have the right idea, he does it at the wrong time, or he goes in alone. For rest of you, hesitation. At least it's good that you recognize the problem. Now they're gonna collapse on you, like now.
Oh, we have to move faster.
You're shooting against your counter.
Okay.
Chrissy gets unfortunately charged from behind, and then it collapses. So, this is why I want to do VOD reviews with Zicky, but he's currently going to Chicago right now, so I can't really blame him. What else? Overall, how it's working is that you're a dive, you work together, you move together. It's like Deathball in a way. The only thing that Deathball doesn't do is that you go straight into the enemy backline. You don't go straight into enemy backline so easily. For dive, you go set up at one place, and then you use that place to pounce onto the enemy team. High ground is the best thing you can have as dive. Deathball is kind of fine to have the low ground because you're giant meatball basically, and goats is an evolved version of that, so taking low ground is completely fine if you're goats. But for dive, you have to take high ground, so one, you have higher mobility per se, and you have a better chance to get into enemy backline. Also, you have a better view of the area.
Just listen to Chrissy, Becky. Just listen to Becky. She should lead you the right way.
Pharmacy, I don't remember which
Pharmacy
tank.
is fine.
I'm for sure it was a Winston.
The Widowmaker
Maybe D.Va. We
could
need
have
to take the high
stayed.
ground.
You can try to move them up.
You can go under a breach and jump on high grounds together.
Yeah, go main. Speak with us, please.
Okay, going main's fine. Most people don't really go for that.
No.
Most dive compositions don't go under bridge because, like I
Speak with
said,
us,
you
please.
need to have a good position to dive on enemy team. Going straight to point is obscure. Ruben, if you're going on someone, it's something that Pac-Man doesn't do as much either. You need to communicate that you're on someone right now. If you don't, rest of your team cannot follow up on that, and either that target doesn't die, or the target doesn't die fast enough before this happens.
No support. Yeah, no heals.
And just so you know, they are running goats, and we are running dive. Like I said before, dive is a counter to goats. It's just harder than usual because it's goats and not a regular death
They're
ball.
gonna have grab and whole hog when we push, as well as rally. I think they have everything except for Ryan.
It's a very good call on the earth, on the ultimates right
call
there.
the targets. Who will stop you first? Who's going to use their ultimate first?
They're gonna grab first.
Then you know who to stop
Ooh, we're
first.
cheating.
Yes, welcome to cheating on Overwatch. It's good thing that Tespa doesn't know this, or this match would count as a loss for us. But again, it doesn't really matter because it's preseason, and we're still learning. Now, what I said there is something that you should always keep in mind. It's something that I keep yelling at Onyx, and I think Kiros hears it often if he actually listens to me. Win conditions. You need to know what your win condition is and their win condition is. It's part of that whole communication hierarchy that Tabe made. You have to know the enemy ults, your ults, their cooldowns, and yada yada. The idea of trying to know what their win conditions is that you have to know how they're gonna win the next fight, how they're gonna win the map. You know that they just have to stop us from getting the first stick. Easy. Done. They're doing that right now. We got a minute 30 left. How they're going to stop us from the next fight? The Graviton. I made you recognize that. Excuse me. And I gave you your win condition. You either stop the Zarya, or you just go straight ahead and just kill everyone and try to survive and have someone standing on point cap it. So, the idea of why I actually mean win conditions. Know how they win, know what they need to win and how they're going to do it, and know what you need to win and how you can stop them from doing it. How to stop them from meeting their win condition, and how they can stop you from meeting yours. Try to keep that in mind. Everyone has to keep that in mind. It's going to sound weird, convoluted, but once you get the idea in, it will all make sense. Hesitation. Okay. Another thing. Don't stand behind this pillar on Anubis. Ever. Yeah, it's still protection, but as a tank, you're fat. They're going to hit the elbow once in a while. So you might as well be just standing on the sides, and then figure out where to go next. Once you do that, then you can move. Don't stand behind this pillar. That's a bad idea, and they're just going to get poke damage off you.
Down main. Yep. And I know nade. We have to go now. Popping Valk. Be
We still
careful.
have hook.
Call it. Where are these calls? Who are you jumping on? I hear Anna doesn't have an nade and you have to go now. That's it. Who are you jumping on?
With her.
I think he didn't know.
Plus, no ultimates were called on no ultimates were called on what you need to use. Let me rephrase that. No one called which ultimates to use. You just did it, and you're wasting ults. I know at the end of this fight, everyone wasted their ults basically, and you have nothing for the next fight. You use Graviton, you use Blade, you use Bomb, you use Primal Rage. They're using Rally. You use Valk. They're using Whole Hog. This is basically battle ultimates.
Okay.
That ultimate by Rommel, while it's good, it saved a lot of people just right there and then because a lot of people were about to die. That's another ult. Everyone on each team used so many ults. You didn't need to use all these ults. Ult economy is a big thing right now in the Overwatch meta. Try to use as little ults as possible to win the fight. Try to use them carefully and tactically. Rommel using his sound barrier to sustain during this fight while Brig has rally is perfect. You see in Overwatch League and other pro plays that both teams will have Lucios, and then one team will drop their Lucio ult, and then the other team will drop it at the same time right after they hear that, because it helps sustain. People who have more health will probably live longer and kill the rest of the team. so why not have the same amount of health like the other team? So what Ramel did is smart. He used his defensive ult to sustain, which is what a Lucio ult and Zen ult can do during team fights if they're not being dragged into, if no one else is being dragged into a graviton. Oh, and if you look here, you see Barry uses barrage. Yeah, I think what, kill 2 people? Let's find out.
Gonna out there. Out there. Things that around.
1.
Okay.
Good ult.
Lucio, in there, Lucio on point. Lucio. Okay, bridge.
Okay, well I do know what's going on. You're hitting targets, and you're trying to find Lucio because he's being called. That's good! You're trying to find the target. You know where the target is, he's on point. Not exactly on point. And yeah, it gets hard, because you get vague calls like that, but you can't help getting those vague calls because the calls need to be quick and fast. And you can't really be too specific during the fight. In that case, if you go full 360 looking for the target, just hit whoever is next to you. Which is what you're doing. Ruben.
Bridge, he's on the middle. Reinhardt. Good.
Okay, good.
Remember you.
Alright. Let's get back to what I was saying. Look at all these ultimates. What ultimates am I looking at? What ultimates are ready for the next fight? Nothing! Remember, again, ulti economy. I'm not gonna go through that whole spiel again. But you did good. You all called targets. Well, Christy called targets, and everyone followed up. I heard Bear saying that he's going to use his ultimates. I heard some people, but everyone else was pretty quiet when it comes to like their plays or where things are, or who's won. Well, I do understand that we're putting Chrissy here as the macro and micro shot caller. In the future, we're going to have Alex be the macro and Chrissy be the micro. No, Bixby, I'm not talking to you. You're like, you're almost bad as Siri on my phone. Damn it. This is like the
Remember,
first
you
time he's
wasted
ever done that.
everything, so we might have something. You need to
Then I grab.
play
Big
safe.
They're gonna have bomb. They switched.
Okay, good. You're still recognizing what ultimates that they might have.
Alright. You know they have McCree. You can either play safe as Farah or you can
I got cut off there. You can either play safe, or you could switch.
Go. Okay, after we push left side, we're gonna try
Good
right
eats
side.
on the fire
Let's
strike.
go with our Pharah.
Try to do that as often as you can, Ruben. When you see a Moira ball, any Moira ball for an enemy Moira, try to eat that. It'll either deny damage or it'll deny healing. If you see a fire strike, eat that, so it'll deny the Reinhardt any damage or any ult charge. If you deny any of those, it denies that character ult charge. And you know that Reinhardt just, well, he may have Shatter at this point, but just in case.
Okay, speed boost us in 3, 2, 1. Go, speed boost. 7 point.
targets.
Alright, just so you know, if you hear that whole Anna, that is Ryan speaking. Just in case you're still not used to his voice yet during games. That isn't saying get out.
Okay. Save. Don't use anything. Yeah.
Okay. So, this fight, how about this? You all committed into the same area, you followed the plan, and you committed. That's good. You followed the plan, you executed, it was just executed poorly. Or you just got wrecked by a brig, which is also a high possibility, as she is on fire right now. What the enemy team did bad there was at the very end, they didn't stagger Ruben. Ruben was the last person to live in that team fight on our side. What they could have done is just left Ruben right there where he is as Baby Diva and just deny him ult charge to gain his mech. They could just stagger him the whole time, but they didn't do that. You should try doing that as well. Staggering divas when they're the last one alive. Before I go any further, does anyone know why staggering a baby diva is good? K-Roll say nothing.
Because she's an off take. You have to wait for your off take.
Yes. So if you stagger her, that means then the rest of the team has to wait for that one person. Good.
Is that
Have Falcon.
it's also because her
They should
ult
be able to
doesn't go
charge.
up even if she
And
shoots
maybe
you
barrage.
Yes.
compared to other hero.
Yeah, we're gonna go
Yes.
right side so we can get a barrage up.
Alright. Another thing. Let's see here. To traverse the area, Ruben, right here, you can either follow Ryan and go to the right stairs, or you could boost up. Why? It's because we're going right. We plan on going right. And you want to avoid taking damage as much as possible. You also want to avoid showing the enemy team where you're going. The only way the enemy team knows where you're going is that choke point right over there. That is somewhere around this area. If they see you going right, they're going to think you're going to go right. If they see you going left, vice versa, etc., etc. So what you want to do is try to give the least information as possible. So you can follow Ryan, stay hidden, you can go up and around. What Bear is doing, Bear is Bear, he's Pharah. He can go anywhere he wants. The enemy team will think the Pharah will be front, right, or left, blinking, or just going main as a distraction. So they don't care where
Yeah, we're gonna
he's
go
going,
right
they
side
just
so we can
know
get a
where he
barrage up.
is. Again, this is for everyone else. Well, this is also for everyone else. Because, again, information is the best thing you can have in any fight, in any situation. This is war. War never changes. So, and one key thing about war is information. The more information you have, the higher advantage that you have. Welcome to the Battle of Azeroth, Temple of Anubis. Anyways, yeah. If they have information where you're going, if they have information on you, they'll be ready to fight you. If they don't have information on you, you have the element of surprise, basically. And you also need as much information on them as well. That's why Sombra is so good nowadays. If the Sombra is very communicative, the Sombra can give so much information, so that your team can get ready, form a plan, and hopefully execute it well. Alright, they see you. That means they saw everything.
Okay. Ready? Let's go.
Let's go.
Alright, there's a
Use ult
dive,
if you have to.
but who are you going on?
They're in the car.
Actually, I need to go back on that call. What was that call?
Use ult if you have to.
That is not a good call. The only time you ever say use ults if you have to is when you have to contest a point to continue a fight. You're starting a fight. Don't say use ults if you have to, because that just basically cued everyone on the team to use their ultimate almost at the same time. So while it's good for Ziki that he's using it right now to go on that McCree that Ruben's on right now, I don't know what other ults we have at the moment, probably not much, but still. It's a lot of ultimates that are about to be popped, if you say it like that.
They're in closet.
We hear barrage. We see a blade.
Anna's in the closet. She's low.
Is that a Valk I see? That is a Valk I see.
Kill the Zen.
He was one. Get her out the
That
map.
is 3 ults.
Zen. Zen is still under.
Good
Yeah.
Zen. Zen one. He's low.
The maximum of ults that I want to use in a fight would be 3. If you can, 2 is the best. If you can somehow win a fight with 1 ultimate, that's even better. If you win a fight without even using ultimates, can you have ultimates? You're gods. But that's a different story. We're not gods, we're college students. Gods are currently in LA getting ready for preseason. Where's Jonak? Who's Jonak? On this team.
D.Va coming left side. D.Va's on point.
Doomfist once. Doom once.
And this is just a...
And on point. She's half.
Me too, Ruben.
Okay. Your calls, Chrissy, they're good. We're getting information. You're Mercy, and you have the best view of the whole fight. And you give out great calls. What we saw right there, that's just Ruben need to work on his mechanical skills. That's something that all Rubies still need to keep doing. Work on their mechanical skills. We're not the best. We'll probably never be the best, because there's always someone better than us. If there's someone better than... If there's no one else better than you, find someone who's better than you. Wise words of Bruce Lee. Yeah. It's always something you can keep working on. There are training guides, there are ways to practice your aim, and yada yada. I have one horrible anti-headshot training mode that we could all try, and you all can try to compete who can get the most elims in 30 minutes, but that's another time. At least he killed the D.Va before she got her back.
Use beats. There you go.
I don't think May has freeze.
Beautiful ult again by Ruben right there.
Zen.
And there's... Remember what I said. I know what you're about to do. You're about to throw a bomb by sliding on the ground, but... The Hammond right there. By the way, we need to help Ryan get used to our calls in English, because we call Hammond, but the other night, he was like, what's Hammond? We told him Wrecking Ball. I was like, oh, Wrecking Ball. Yeah.
Hamster?
Hamster, Hammond, hamster,
Ball.
Ball is easy. But yeah, when we say Hammond or Ham, we mean Hammond. So yeah, we need to help Ryan a little bit with our calls. We need to have a whole scrim about calls, or a whole VOD review about calls, by the way. Alright, now then, with the ball right here, you see him swinging. You see him going fucking Tarzan on this pillar right now. There are 2 things. 2 things to stop him at the moment. 3 things. 1, you can kill him. That's hard to do. Second, Rommel can use his boop on the Wrecking Ball as he's coming to the ground to stop his momentum. Or 3, Ruben can use his boosters on the Hammond to stop his momentum. That way he's easier to kill.
Zen once.
Wow, Ruben got fucking like launched. Anyways.
Moved off.
D.Va bomb wise, we need to work on that. When I do get it, sliding on the ground makes it travel a smaller distance. We also need to work on like using it to contest points instead of like throwing up straight into the air. You could like boost around the ground for like a second and then go up and drop the bomb. That way it'll go up in the air and then it'll fall close enough to the ground, but not too high, not too low. And it should probably get some angles
Kill
that will generate.
Reaper's on point. On a D.Va.
Good call by Bear.
He's no ray.
Okay, come. Save.
Unfortunate. Right, now you see what I mean. Perfect. But yeah, that is. You saw how that D.Va, the enemy D.Va, did their bomb. He boosted, went up in the air, dropped it, and then he got people from different views or different lines of sight.
Back if you
Now
can.
you watch Ruben die slowly.
Still up to McCree.
Again, something the enemy team is doing bad, which is staggering Ruben.
Here. It's better versus them.
Okay. They're gonna have Mayo when we come back. Maybe Transcendence.
Alright. Between fights for Alex, he needs to have this screen up all the time between fights, so that he knows what ult charge that we have, what ults we can use next fight. You should also look at you yourself should also look at this a lot more often between fights, Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you already do that, that's great. Still, just saying that for the recording. Right here, you know what ultimate we have next. I believe Bear just switched to McCree, so whatever ult he had on Pharah is gone. Ooh. That's something for the recording right there.
Clip it.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. V-Fly ASMR? No, okay, I'm going to delete that, what I just said right there at the recording. Anyways, we know what ultimate we have next for next fight, which is Genji Blade. That's your win condition. Remember that. What can stop that, and what can stop him directly or indirectly? What can stop him directly would be a Zenyatta Transcendence, or just outright killing him. Or, indirectly, is basically Ziki wastes his new dash that he gets from pulling out Blade, and he gets zoned out. So let's say he pulls out Blade, he dashes, the Hammond goes fucking like Tarzan and whacks him across the screen and across the map. I'm not going to call him ball during VOD review, I'll do that in freaking scrims, Nagi. Anyways, Hammond will just go fucking Tarzan and swing across the map and knock him all the way back to spawn. That is not really possible, but you get the idea. He gets far enough where he's not really dangerous. That's an indirect thing. That's something you can do as well. To stop a Genji, you either push him far enough to where he can't do damage when he's using his ult, or you somehow deny him with ultimates, which you all already know that you can do, and which ultimates can stop that. Or abilities.
For sure Transcendence actually. And
Actually, I want to look at your medals. Okay. Yep, this is not good. This weapon accuracy is not good. You should be doing more with that. Let's say this crosshair is actually what I have for D.Va. So crosshair, the shots in Overwatch work weirdly. Instead of going like a realistic cone shape where they would spread and infinitely just keep going in angles, like you would do in real life until they have drop. Overwatch does like this weird thing where this is one pinpoint shot and then it spreads into a certain size of a circle, and it'll stay that size forever until it hits something. So this circle is exactly what every D.Va, exactly where all D.Va shots will land. Yeah, I know you have a dot. You're a freaking hit scan. You don't have to worry about that. Hit scan's pinpoint. That is very hard to believe, but oh well. You're a freaking hit scan. It's easier to have a dot or a crosshair. For off tanks or people with shotguns, a circle is nice in my opinion because you know where the shots will at least land. If someone's inside this crosshair, at least you're hitting them with something. And with D.Va, you don't really have to like go for flick shots. You just gotta go for tracking. You can do that a lot if you're at distance. If you're at close range, it's going to be a little harder. Good for you. Good for you, Michael.
And Mora might be around halfway to her ult. Okay.
Try.
And yes, the Diva missiles will be pinpoint.
Yeah, let's go right.
So right again. Okay.
And I'll say
Yep.
it one more time. If a target is at least somewhere in the circle, you at least hit them with one pellet from a Diva shot.
Focus on.
There's some. The Zen is on right side all alone.
Okay, right side. We can go right
Okay.
side. Dive to the end.
Okay.
Good calls, good calls. These are good calls.
Then one.
You didn't say when you're going though. Because at the moment, the only person who made it there first and had most time on the Zen was Ruben. He can't burst Zen down that well, that fast, unless his off tank is there at the same time. You need to call out when you're going. Sometimes saying 3, 2, 1 is good, but don't say it too fast. Yes, Monkey usually goes first. Count 3, 2, 1 is a good way to initiate or to signal when, but sometimes that can be slow. So sometimes it would just say like ready and go. So that way you know when to go, you know where to go.
Watch out for. It's
Alright. Now because of that mistiming, Zen used trans. Think he's dead, but they use trans, and guess who has a blade? So that's a bit bad from their team as well. They could still win this fight
Gyro,
without
don't use anything.
using
Don't use
ults,
anything.
which is what
Just
they're
try to
doing.
charge your ults.
Aside from Zen.
Diva got out back. James, go.
God damn, this Marker Shen is actually carrying. Thought he wasn't that good, but never mind. No! No, he had Blade! Did he use Blade? He did. He used Blade, didn't he? Is that why he used trans?
No, we forced trans, I thought.
I need to look at that again, because he switched to Doomfist just then.
Right side,
I
dive to
don't
the end.
remember him blading.
Just listen.
Then one.
He
Watch out.
bladed.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Fuck, never mind. I was gonna say, oh hey, yeah, he has Blade. This is perfect. Oh shit, he used Blade. That's why they use trans. Okay, never mind then. Everything I just said
Gyro,
is
don't use anything,
completely
don't use
wrong.
Just try to charge your ults.
In different situation that might be correct, but yeah, it's a good reset. Just wait.
Alright, I have beast next fight.
Okay.
Nice. Diva's out of mag as well, so we can.
Yeah,
let's
we're
go
going to
push
coordinate
before
that
she
with
get it.
Ryan
We can
more.
do a fast one. Just don't get hit by her.
Okay, Doomfist is a good answer to this.
They're gonna have coalescence,
The
so
only
we cannot go
people
main.
that can stop Doomfist right now would be Reaper and McCree. Excuse me. Afterbursts are coming up. Why McCree? Flashbang. And if he's a good McCree, he can easily counter Doomfist. Why Reaper? If the Doomfist gets close, which he has to do, Reaper can just delete his face with shotguns. Diva can deny Doomfist some damage. So when you see a Doomfist slam in, he'll always shoot, then uppercut. And then he'll start shooting again. Try blocking that damage more if you can, Ruben. So you see someone getting jumped by a Doomfist, hold defense matrix on them so that they won't get shot by a Doomfist, because that shotgun fist is pretty powerful.
They're also gonna have Reaper ult.
Yeah,
I didn't think a shot.
But go fast before she gets next back.
Okay, ready? Okay,
Three,
jump on.
2, 1.
Go. Stock is up. 7 points.
Before we get any further, I'm gonna say what you did right there is good. Okay,
They're gonna have coalescence.
everyone's going to the right side. As far as I can tell, everyone's not giving them a view of where they're going.
So we cannot go main.
They don't have information. They kinda have information. remember that orb can latch onto people.
They're also gonna have Reaper ult.
Yeah, Reaper.
But go fast before she gets back.
Now, they don't know where exactly you are at the moment, so they're just going to keep spamming choke.
Okay, ready? Okay.
Which means they don't know where you are.
One.
Go.
But now
Thumbs
they
up.
do.
Same point together.
He's coming.
You're fine.
Good.
McCree dead. McCree dead.
You
Reaper on main, no Wraith. Reaper main. Oh, he's dead.
Morel one. Morel one.
Just D.Va, just D.Va. He's dead.
Morel. McCree dead. McCree dead.
Doc is up. Same point together.
He's coming.
You're fine.
McCree dead. McCree dead.
Reaper on main, no Wraith. Reaper main. Oh, he's dead.
Morel one. Morel one.
Just D.Va, just D.Va. Nice shot. McCree. McCree, Lucio.
Lucio one. Nice.
okay. So what you did there right is a dive. Ryan and Ruben went on the same target. That's good. Everyone was calling things out. Obviously, Chrissy was calling out targets, which is good. You called out that Valk was up, which means everyone should know that your ultimate's up. Ruben actually called out he's dropping beat, which is good. And you're calling out little things like Reaper has no Wraith. He's coming out of Wraith. That's a good call. That means he is vulnerable to dying now. And then obviously other target calls and yada yada. No, I don't. I keep saying Romel when he's dropping beat. If you hear Ruben, then well, that's your own ears. Let's see. Kato was saying here, as the yourselves dive repeal most of the time, never engage, and the pushing ability can be effective as Matrix sometimes. Alright. And then let's see, crosshair like that will reduce your movement, and the way you're moving your crosshair, that's just feeling that I get blah blah blah, yeah, focusing too much on the big circle. Okay.
Good save.
Good. Communication is a lot better than I thought it would be. Zeki, you're doing a good job at the moment. I'm going to talk a little less now, but overall, your ultimate usage, your target calling and follow-ups are a lot better than I expected.
And it should. It's a lot. That last fight was a lot better than I expected when it comes to ultimate charge. Alright, next thing. I do agree with something Skaros just said. D.Va is good for peeling. I used her a lot like that when I was playing on Onyx. I used her to peel most of the time. I'm peeling for Thomas right now. I'm peeling Tom. Wait, I'm not going to. Anyways, there's some things about D.Va I do find sometimes troublesome. Is that you're diving a target, yeah, ramming them in the face with the mech as you're boosting is a good way to get some tiny damage in. It does some damage, tiny damage, but it also knocks them away from you. When that can be very troublesome sometimes, and I do see it happen in this VOD. Michael, I'm going to like kill you right now. Please do not give out critique while I'm talking. I know you're typing out, but still, it's not needed right now. That's not what we're focusing on.
Okay.
Again, D.Va pushability. It's good for tiny damage, but it's troublesome sometimes. It pushes the target away, and sometimes it gives them room to escape. Remember that you can... there's a better way to get some damage in and stop the mech. You can either press shift and then just shoot regularly with left click and the missiles, or when you get to the target you can melee them in the face. That stops the mech from boosting, and it deals even more damage than just ramming them in the face. Then you can start laying down some damage. Crosshair wise, that is your own personal preference. How you play is the way you play. Can it be done better sometimes? Yes. Is there more optimal ways? Yes. but will you like those ways? Are you going to get used to those ways? It's however you play. But these are like tips and tricks. The push ability is nice to knock people away, like a Lucio boop. But when you're diving in on them, try using the melee to stop the mech and get damage in. Then you can start bursting damage on them. That doesn't display.
And what else?
And you're learning
Your
now.
ultimate usage is pretty good actually. Like holy crap, you saved so many people with your beats many times.
And I
have-
still
like, you have
mean
no
it
idea
to
how
this
many
day.
times Sticky
Those
almost died
beats from
without a beat.
Can
Rommel.
we do
Oof.
dive, Doomfist, Widow, or you want if you want double sniper you can.
Way healer.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna say it again.
Lucio.
Lucio.
When I
Yeah.
made Ruby, I didn't plan on going Rommel and Ruben, or Ruben and Rubik. It's just, that's a lot. And it's going to get more confusing later on. Or Ryan and Ryan.
Dive Doomfist.
Ruby is an international team. Basically, we have one American, two Americans, right? Let's see, we have, I believe Ruben's American, I think 3 Americans. We have Ruben, Rommel, and Christy. Ideally, Bear is from Norway? Am I right? Yeah. Ziki is American, I believe as well, but I think he's Jewish. I don't know completely. I think he's American, I'm not too sure, but his last name's definitely a common name I see. Ryan's definitely from China. We don't care about which part of China, we just know he's Chinese and we know he speaks Mandarin. Definitely know he's secretly Korean, fuck.
No, we all know he's European. Let's be real.
Nice. He's South African, come on. So yeah, and Alex is from Russia. Everyone has these weird, like, language accents and barriers. Ryan doesn't talk much, he doesn't know some words that we do. Alex has some weird accents with his words, so he says Ryan and Ryan the same way, almost the same thing, like Ryan and Ryan. And he doesn't, and when he says half, he doesn't really say half. Half. It's like have. He's like saying have and half. It sounds similar, I get it. So with Ruby, in the next few scrims, I want to work more on communication than mechanical skill. Excuse me. Man, I should not be drinking soda. Yeah, Ruby should work more on communication at the moment. Mechanical skill can come later or individually by yourselves. So we're going to have to make calls, we're going to have to teach each other how to say some things more clearly. I still like the idea of, if Ryan is very comfortable with Chinese and he accidentally lets out a Chinese word out, we should know what that word is. Like ganima, you should know what that means. If you don't know what that means, I'll tell you right now, it means fuck your mom. Or do the lomo, that's Cantonese for fuck your mom. Thank you, Chrissy, for confirming that.
Oh no, double snipers is fine too.
Okay.
Kao ni ma,
Whatever
that's
you're more
Taiwanese
comfortable
for fuck your mom. Kao.
Checking high grounds.
Wait, no, it's Xiaomi ma.
Chao ni ma? No, it's Kao ni.
In Chinese.
No, which dialect? Cantonese or Taiwan? Cantonese or Mandarin?
Mandarin, I think.
Mandarin? Huh. It's probably Mandarin.
I know
Taiwan.
in PUBG they always say that Xiaomi ma, Xiaomi ma.
You can play. Snipers can play split, so Mercy can should have a space to escape. Also, if you see goats, immediately to take high grounds and use speed to get out of there and just shoot from range.
Wait, why Tiki is playing here with Hanzo?
Double sniper. Double sniper can't work here, it's just how it works. His placement though is not that great at the moment because he's with the tanks. He needs
Yeah,
a different
that's-
vantage points.
Oh,
Though Hanzo's better at mid range. And I think he accidentally pushed Ryan to the ground.
Oh no, just save your jump, Ryan. Don't try to go up there. You're gonna get tagged
Good
then.
call.
Okay,
Alright,
it looks like they're running goats.
I think he now has a better vantage
Gotta
point.
go right.
He's on those
We're
stairs,
gonna jump
on
them
that
as soon as
bridge.
they reach this patio.
okay.
Okay, good.
I saw that you were ready.
Oh, they're mixed.
Okay.
I'm so ready to go.
You're so ready, like
We're gonna jump them as soon as they reach.
you're like it. It reminds me of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You see the villager with his boxing gloves getting ready, like getting ready to go down. That's what it reminds me of.
This patio.
Okay, yeah, you know what to do. You know where to go. But
Push it slow.
Okay.
uh,
Oh, they're mixed.
okay. Immediately, there's two things.
Okay.
One, don't go until we say it's time to go. Second, you hear someone getting hooked. Immediately pull out your matrix to where the hog is. So that if, yeah, Ruben doesn't die, but you should still like use it to protect, to one, stop the hog from getting ultimate, and to give Ruben more health.
Push it slow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're mixed.
Collision.
These are
Okay.
huge picks. These are huge picks,
Right,
good
right.
dives.
Dara, okay,
Got
Dara.
him. He's done.
Okay.
Up down.
Sticky, you muted.
Nice.
Yeah. On top.
Ooh, I've been muted this whole time.
Oh,
Fun fact, you should always look, if you're playing at school, you should always look down on your microphone. If you see a red light, you're muted. If you look at your Discord and you see a microphone with a line across it, you're muted. You should always check that before every match.
they're running solo. Oh no, Zarya, monkey.
Wow.
Okay, punish this monkey as soon as he dives.
Good call.
Oh, is that why you get
There are many ways to end fights early. Is that you either kill the supports or you kill the main tank. The main tank is one that protects the team. You kill one of those two, the team starts to crumble. If you somehow kill the DPS, that's fine, but rest of the team can still keep fighting. If there's nothing to protect them, if there's nothing to heal them, they can't fight for so long. Unless they go
No,
God
you
mode
won.
and
Right
pop
side, right
off.
side, right side.
Monkey's one.
Monkey, 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 monkey.
Good kills.
My drop dragon.
Even
wait,
damage
wait,
boosted them,
alright.
that's even better.
Try to find McCree main. Bridge.
Got him. Genji.
Genji,
And right
Genji
here
one,
is
Genji
just
one.
like
Yeah,
pure
he's like-
mechanical
yeah.
skills showing from
Can I get some
Vicky
heals?
and
Zarya, can we
Bear.
kill Zarya? Oh, no.
She's gone. She's gone.
Yeah.
Don't chase her. Don't chase her.
Again, these are good.
Got her.
Nice.
Like this is a good position that you keep going to, Ruben. If you watch some videos on this, that's great. If you didn't and you just instinctively figure this out or watch people in your competitive ladder do this, it's even better. Ryan should also be here too because that's high ground. And this is also what I mean by like setting up and getting ready to pounce on someone. This is exactly what I mean.
What a stagger.
I want to see that. I really want to see that.
Okay, they're watching you.
It's nice having Brian talk. Like, I thought he wouldn't talk much, but he actually talks a lot more than
Try
I
to
thought
play in the tight
since
spaces.
compared to beginning of the semester. Alright, Ruben, you are looking at this. You are looking at their team composition. You see that some changes have been made. You should be calling these out, even if you didn't hear someone else say it.
I thought my Sonic arrow did all
Again,
that. I was like, what?
this screen can give a lot of information,
I think they're gonna go main. for their
and
Lucio.
information is the best thing to have on the
Just be
battlefield.
ready.
Oh, they waiting.
Maybe in a different life, I was like a war tactician or something, and I was like fucking badass. I don't know. I probably killed a whole army, but I don't care.
No, it was funny because they were all waiting.
wanna-
We could see them all.
Oh no,
Oh yeah, this thing. So, I think did Bear use his ultimate? Yeah, Bear used his
No,
ultimate.
it was a Sonic area arrow.
No, like Bear used ultimate first, so
Oh,
yeah, the enemy team recognized that Widow used the Emperor site, so they waited. Because they know that if you know where they are, you know where to kill them, where they're going, all that. So it's fine. So what they're doing is smart. What they didn't know is that they could throw a Sonic arrow right near the end of Bear's ultimate. So we still had information on where they are.
Sonic arrow did all that. I was like, what?
I think they're gonna go main because they have Lucio.
So you should be looking. If you know that our Widow has ultimates, Ruben, you should check the map and see where the red silhouettes are,
Just be ready.
so you know where they are. Looking down,
Do you want to?
looking down at that is nice and all, but you don't really see everything until you look at this.
Wait, no, we got walls.
Oh no, they're coming. They're
Okay,
coming.
left,
Sorry.
left side, left side. They go there. Oh no, no, no.
Yeah.
Doom is one.
You know what you did right there, Ruben? You did a Lucio. You did what we talked about using the boosters to push someone off.
Yeah.
You stopped the Doomfist from punching someone. That is amazing.
They go there. Oh no, no, no.
Yeah.
Doom is one. Doom is one.
Nice.
Monkey one. Monkey one. D.Va have.
You see, these are good calls from Ryan too. These are all micro calls. The whole team can do it, but there is a designated shot call for that. Rest of the team can call things, smaller things out, like positions or who's won, or if they recognize something, like this person is about to have ultimates, they can call that out too.
D.Va on main. Push her. Push her. Push D.Va on main.
Got him, I got
Already
him.
mag.
Oh, no, no, no.
Okay, can you leave her? Leave her. Leave her. Leave her. Leave her. Come back. Come
Okay,
back.
okay,
Back.
okay. I'll hold you back.
Alright, another thing for Lucio players.
Okay, can you leave her? Leave her. Leave her. Leave her. Leave her. Come back. Come
Okay,
back.
okay,
Back.
okay.
You hear saying leave early, come back. I see yellow outline. This is a Lucio aura right here. This should be green. Why? Because at this point, retreat is a better idea to have than to heal. That way you can move fast. Remember what I said? The faster you do it, the better. Speed is everything. And so is knowledge.
I'll hold
The
you back.
faster you can set up, the better.
no, even with ult usage, a lot of times it's better to speed boost than heal because you can't out heal the damage, but you can
outrun the damage.
yeah, like Genji Blade is a big one.
Yeah. So stuff like that is good. I'll if anyone wants to have like a nice Lucio tips and tricks thing from me, they can. But they can also watch. If they can watch old DSP stanky videos or Lucio tutorials.
They probably got ults. So
We
watch
have
out.
everything. They might have everything.
Another thing right here, Ruben. Remember why I said, God, I remember that, Bear. I know you made it to freaking top 500 with Lucio and became top 100 Lucio in EU, but still, okay.
They probably got
There is a mortar ball that's going to come in right here. You can stop that.
ults. So
We
watch
have
out.
everything.
Just feather,
They might have
just
everything.
feather your matrix right there. You can stop it. But I do see a bigger priority as happening.
Monkey is
I got
alone.
it, I got it.
Nice.
Genji on me, Genji on me, Genji on me, Genji on
That
me.
is just unfortunate for Romel.
Get done, watch them.
They're still on me.
Lucio one.
Doom
Lucio
one,
one.
Lucio
Lucio
point,
one on the
Lucio
point.
point,
Lucio one on the point. Okay, Genji one on the point.
Mora, Mora.
Thanks.
I can't
Alright. Again, everyone is making good calls. Everyone's calling things out. Everyone's following on these calls. But there's thing of overcalling as well. There's a lot of people calling things out. It's just a coincidence that everyone else is calling out targets at different times, and not at the same time. All these calls were killed in order from what we saw through Ruben's perspective.
They might have everything.
Monkeys.
Monkey is
I got it,
alone.
I got it, I got it.
Nice.
Monkey down.
Genji on me, Genji on me, Genji on me, Genji on me.
Lucio one. Lucio one.
Get done, watch them.
They're still on me.
Lucio one.
Doom
Lucio one.
Genji on point,
Lucio one on the
Doom
point. Lucio one on the point.
Lucio's dead.
Okay, Okay, Genji one on the point.
Genji's dead.
Mora.
Moira is dead.
I can't hit her. I can't hit her.
Diva or Yume?
If you listen through all those calls just now, there's like 3 to 4 different people calling things out. That's fine. But if you overcall or talk over each other, it's going to get confusing and it's going to muddy up comms. It's something that we're going to work on onto next scrim.
Yep.
At one point, I might even purposely screw you all over and tell someone to call this out at this time while someone else is calling something out to give an example, if needed.
Do you guys wanna dive
got
them
me.
while they're grouping up on the side? Oh,
Mid lane now.
okay, no.
Oh man, think it up.
Oh,
Maybe
monkey.
not.
Oh.
Right side, right side.
Monkey still won.
You can eat that. You can eat that ball. Remember, you just feather the matrix.
Can we
You don't have to
jump
hold down,
inside or
just
something?
press right click.
Don't go
once.
in there.
Okay, Genji is alone. Genji is alone.
Monkey's one.
Nice beat.
Doofy's on me, Doofy's on me. And Genji.
Genji's on point. Mora.
Alright. I just want you all to recognize the calls that Chrissy just made. There are 2 different kinds of calls, and in context, they were 2 different calls, which is good in this case. You heard the Genji ult. Everyone needs to know where the Genji is to either avoid him or to zone him out. And then we had a target call, a kill call, basically.
First, Mora.
I have jump.
Damn it. Doom.
Alright. Let's review this ball.
I
And
have jump.
let's see. Right here. When it hits that half mark right there, you should just press Q if you really want to like zone them out.
I have jump.
Damn it. Doom.
But,
Oh.
you know, I don't forgive it because it's a double kill.
Some point,
And it
some point,
almost
some point.
saves the point.
I have dragon if you guys can chill.
Almost.
Lucio low. Oh, he's healed.
You can test the point
Yeah, we might have
to
to
overtime,
reset.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just come back if you can.
I'm coming.
During that
I can
fight,
go to the point. Okay.
there was a call on the Moira, but you didn't go for the Moira. As a matter of fact, you were just like looking left and right, like, there's so many people in front of me. Who do I shoot? Who do I shoot? I do get in the heat of the battle.
We're just
It's
waiting.
hard to like hear other things when
Should
you're
I
just
do
focused on
Zen
what's on
or,
screen.
Like, stay Lucio? 'Cause
But
we
try
don't
to
need-
like
I'm gonna say we don't really need a sweep boost.
try to open your senses more during the heated battle. Try to talk, try to listen, and try to react all at the same time. It's gonna be hard. It's going to get some it's going to get some things. It's going to get Blech, English. Why is it hard? I'm American and it's English. Lar. It'll take some time to get used to.
That well.
After
well,
Lucio, can you
can
break?
go down.
Yeah,
Or-
I read.
Because
I read.
they're gonna dive you if you can.
Monkey.
Monkey no jump, monkey no shield.
Calls.
Okay, monkey one, monkey one. Okay.
This feels bad.
Lucio one.
Lucio point, Lucio one.
Diva. Oh,
Lucio.
Diva's one.
Alright. So, for you, Christy, about calls. You dead? Yeah. Feels bad. If kill cams are off, which they should be, you should be looking through someone else's perspective at the very instant that you die, so that you can make calls even if you're dead. If the others are making calls while you're dead, that's fine, which is what you basically did. You hear Lucio 1, so you repeated that so everyone can capitalize on that.
Genji
I got
one,
monkey on me. I got monkey on me.
Oh, don't you want? Nice.
It's okay, they don't have any heals.
But yeah,
I got
try
beats.
try doing that. If you're dead, try to look through someone else's perspective to give calls.
Um,
Stay on the dive. Just get in position for a dive.
This is an okay position for a dive. It's not the best. It plays backup point, which is fine, but it's not the best. If anything, you and Ryan could be standing on this platform right here, where my cursor is on the top right. You could be standing there. Not only you are at the front of the choke, they can't really see you if you're standing right here and not right here. Plus, you are basically holding this area, so they can't really get past without you zapping them or shooting them. And if you play sneaky, you can get into their backline super easy because the backline is just gonna walk right in front of you when it happens, when they walk through the front door. If they walk through the front door. Ryan should be going on high ground right now as well. Ryan should always be with you, in theory. Again, eat that. Okay, that's fine, good feathering.
Funky, it's vulnerable. We have to get the monkey.
That is good
Okay.
peeling. That is super good peeling right there. Not only you pushed the monkey outside of his bubble, you also basically zoned him enough to where he can't get out of range from bear.
He's dead.
Push him out.
Doom fist. Doom fist low. Okay. Push out. Let's go.
God damn it, Rabbit, why are you so pitsly?
L'Oreal have.
Oh, they're staggering.
Next scrim, I'm going to show everyone who's in the lab how to work OBS better.
Or dead.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Stagger.
Baby Mac.
Sit.
Diva
Oh.
good. Diva dead.
Fine.
Alright. Dive spots. You should, again, get back into position, get ready. If you're on cooldown, just wait. As usual, but wait near it. Get into a good position. Like, over here is good. On this wall right here is a good position to dive. If you're waiting on cooldown. If you have a cooldown, get up here. Sticky can be up here, on this platform right here. If we have a Widow, Bear can be up there. But since we don't,
That's
that's
illegal.
fine.
Why you touch a baby girl?
Ignore everything that's about to happen, and that's 3 seconds. Actually, don't ignore that. You should have not touched the little girl. You should have staggered her. That sounds really horrible now.
Alright, reset.
Anyways,
She might have
Alright.
Diva bomb.
again, if you're doing yeah, there's no winning, is there? If you're doing macro, you should always be looking at the score screen to see what ultimates that your team has, because they have that feature now. Like, you see what ultimates we have, you should use it to plan.
Don't go under there. Call lessons, I think.
Go call.
I knew Diva bomb was
That
coming.
is...
Ah.
Okay. It's good, but it's bad because you died. Yes, it looks like you're being revived, but it's a very bad position right now that we're seeing on this pause screen. Okay. Ziki, use Shatter. You use Bomb to help zone them out. But you slid it on the ground this time, like usual. It's fine. Closes distance, but at the same time, you could play a little further back. You could have played literally right in front of this thing, right here. And slid the bomb towards the back, so that way you can be sitting right here, and not right wherever the line of sight of the enemy Diva bomb was, so you could live. And you could just basically drop Diva mech on one of these fools. Drop a hot mech on one of these fools. As a matter of fact, you could even kill Winston right now if you dropped a mech on him. It'd be funny.
Nice. Wow.
So they just used like 3. Oh.
Yeah. I think there's one.
There's just one. You got him? Nice.
Got it.
Again with the calls. Macro calls is what controls the ultimate usage, unless the player himself sees an opportunity to use the ult. All 3 ultimates that you had are gone. you don't have anything for next fight. You need to strategize a plan to stop the enemy if they use ultimates. Who to kill. Remember the win conditions. Make a plan on who to stop first to win the next fight, because you have no ultimates. You have to do it.
I think for that fight they used 4 ultimates though.
Well, yes, that's good. If they overuse ultimates, that's good. But they might have other ultimates. You should always keep that in mind. They could be close to something. They could get in the middle of a fight. They could get it right before the fight happens. So you need to keep that in mind. Have a strategy to take people out, to win a fight without ultimates in this case. Because if you lose this fight, they're going to stagger you, and the fight's going to take long enough to where you either lose the first stick or you get all the way halfway.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Nice.
And remember what I said with macro and micro.
Show off.
Show off. Macro makes a plan. Micro executes the plan.
What?
And
I
pro-
got
I think
42
I think Thicky gets played the game with that meteor strike. Again, positioning. Your positioning. You need to work on this positioning. Currently, you're in front of the choke, and they could just basically take poke damage on you and get ult charge. Yes, you're looking around corners, but you could do it
I'm right
better
there.
from this position if you're playing dive.
Yeah, I see Ryan.
They have a brigade as well.
They have like a modified goat.
Div-
Right side.
That's not modified goats. Well, it kinda is.
They have a brigade as well.
Goats usually doesn't have a main healer, but this is still goats.
Oh.
At least you recognize
They
that.
have like a modified
They were
goat.
on right side again.
Alright, good. You know where they're going. You know where that hog is bad. He missed a perfectly good chance to hook in Ruben right there and screwed the whole team over. Yeah, he got slept, but they're shooting at the same time, so you're immediately woken up.
Zarya? Oh, never mind. They're all hit.
Ooh, that feels bad.
Oh, he pushed through.
I'm getting booped around.
Alright, currently the enemy team is winning the fight without any ultimates. This is all with positioning, in my opinion. Your positioning is not good right now. Let's move back to beginning the fight. That's a blurry break face right there. Okay, you know where they're going. Positioning wise, bad. You should have gotten hooked right there. Slept. Knocked. Now then. While I do like stopping with melee, you stopped too soon, and you stopped looking backwards. You should fly back and do a full 180 to turn around to see what's going on. So that way, you might have a chance to move away from that.
I got beat.
Oh, he pushed through.
They use beats.
I'm getting booped around.
Promo uses
Nice,
beat.
Nice, nice, nice.
Good timing.
Going right.
Thicky almost died. It could have been earlier, but this is still a fine time.
I know one.
You use help.
No.
Okay.
Hog is under, is coming up from up below.
Zarya low, Zarya.
I have ult again almost. I'm gonna come back.
Okay, Luciana.
Alright. Actually, I'll talk about it after this fight.
Get out.
Best lines. We need a voice line of that. Of Brian yelling, "Get out, get out."
Kill this Ryan. Go for it. Okay, Luciana.
Hog, hog.
I got
You should be eating that, Ruben.
stun from big behind.
You should be eating
Oh my
that
gosh, maybe use my pump.
hog ultimate right there.
Lucio one.
That is not a good ultimate. You know that. Because it's too far away from the fight, and the enemy team's safe from that. You should have thrown it up in the air.
Rich on point. She's downed.
Anna have. Anna one.
Come on, Anna. Down to death.
Free hand.
On hog, he's one.
Free one.
Ryan main. He's coming back.
Stuck.
Ryan point.
Right.
Oh shit.
Oh.
That was a genius bubble right there by Ryan.
Oh, Lucio.
Stop.
Well played, guys.
Okay. So, I'm going to diagnose that fight a little bit more, but first, I want to talk about winning fights too fast and winning fights too slow. If you win a fight too fast, yeah, that's fine. You win a fight. You get to live another day. But that means the enemy has more time to make another push. What you did there, even though it wasn't intentional that you lost a few, and you get a mult charge, you extended the fight long enough to where they only have one fight instead of two fights. So let's say, okay, they have technically two good pushes left, two quick pushes. Is 1 minute. Each push usually takes about 30 seconds. Average. What you did is that you continued this fight long enough to overtime. Which is good. You're winning the fight slowly. At this point, so this is the time where winning slowly is a good idea. It extends the fight long enough to where they don't have any more pushes. They have to stagger themselves in order to contest. That's good for us. If you win too fast, they have more time to set up and do another push, and you might not be ready for that. Or they could be too ready. Who knows? Things happen. Shit happens. So when you fight too fast, can be a bad thing. When you fight too slow, can be a good thing. Keep that in mind. If you can strategically keep an enemy player alive without killing them fast enough, without killing them that fast, that's great. You can extend the fight. You can make it go into overtime, and then you can technically win. Now,
Right side again. Round. Nice. What's going on?
alright. Ryan, he zoned. He's doing a good zoning right now. He's giving space right now. You use Valk to keep everyone alive. We have sound barrier. We have double support ultimates going on, defensively and offensively. What you could do right now, Chrissy, instead of healing everyone at this moment, is that you could be damage boosting, because we have Lucio ultimate. We have sound barrier. We can live long enough for about 2 more seconds. During those 2 seconds, you could be damage boosting. 2 seconds can make a big difference. 1 second can make a big difference. You know that. So you could be damage boosting at this moment instead of healing.
Oh no!
Hog is under, is coming up.
Though again, I could be wrong. These two could have died earlier if you didn't heal, but you know,
Below.
c'est la vie. It's a toss up.
I have ult again almost. I'm gonna come back.
Okay,
Okay, listen
let's
up.
see. Calls.
Oh no!
Hog is under, is coming up from below.
Zarya low.
I have
You're
ult
following
again.
up on calls. People are following up on calls. She dies.
Okay, listen up.
Ryan's trying to do his best Goosh Way impersonation.
Get out.
What he's doing is good. He's zoning people out of the point, and making whoever we're fighting on points fight by themselves, technically, without their main tank especially. What Ryan did there is good. Hell, even Ryan's like in the fucking backline right now with Thicky. Like, Ryan is a really good tank player, and we don't see it too often. We don't appreciate it enough. Like, he's in their backline right now. He's stalling people. He's contesting the fight long enough to where we're like 5v1, 4v1 someone right now, which is happening.
Kill this Ryan. Go for it. Okay, Lucio now.
Hold Go, 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 go.
I got stunned from big behind. Oh my god, you made me use my phone.
Lucio, Lucio 1, Lucio 1, Lucio 1, Lucio dead.
Help, 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 help.
Bridge on point. She's nanoed.
Anna have. Anna 1.
Come on, Anna.
Alright, these calls are
Oh,
good.
he's one.
Free one.
Ryan main. He's coming back. Ryan point.
Location calls, target calls, these are fine. Again, look at this fucking bubble. Yeah, I got like 3 people, but it saved Ruben. He got his mech back. Yeah, Ruben's alive. He got his mech back. He can basically call in right now and wreck the Ryan. Ryan is alive. He didn't get shattered somehow. I need to look at that again.
Oh.
Okay.
Ryan point.
Right.
He wasn't in the cone. That's fine.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, Lucio.
The fight's gone too long. Everyone knows that. Okay. I would say typically you would get carried by Bear with his amazing picks and plays, or Ziki going ham. But in this case, the MVP right there is Ryan and Romel. Romel with the clutch sound barriers. Ryan playing out these Korean looking plays right now, like holy shit. Even though Romel died a couple times in that fight, he's still zone people out. He's pushing people away. He's healing and speeding. Mostly healing, which is good in this case. He's actually a lot more vocal this time than usual, which is good. Same thing with Ryan. Ryan is a lot more vocal than usual in this case. He's zoning people out. He's zoning like key targets out to where it's helping the team, and he's not doing it just like to one person. He's doing it to multiple people. He got into their fucking backline after his ultimate's done, and then gave Thicky some space to like drop a meteor strike on people. In my case, right now, I would say the MVPs are Ryan and Romel. What you could learn from this fight, what you could learn from this VOD, is a good example of communication. Some things obviously need to be worked on. But some things have improved a lot. You'll have those off days. Everyone will have those off days. But this is one of those days that you can look proudly on to use again in the future as a good reference. There are things that you could do better. Not mechanically wise, but choice wise, like I said. Like I've been doing this, talking about this whole time. There are choices you can make that can make a big difference, a big play. A small difference, but can turn out, but it can like snowball throughout the whole fight. Right now with Ruby, since the semester and the preseason's almost over, I really don't want to like focus on wins. I want to focus more on communication. If you lose, it's okay. If you win, that's great. But if each fight is like super close, super clutch against like a strong team, like on like our last test match, if they come out really close and down to the wire, that is amazing. That means either if you win from that, that's great. But if these fights are good, if you're playing against teams that are around Onyx level and higher, and you're just like playing out these like close matches, that's what I'm looking for. That shows communication. That shows like play style, player synergy. It also shows like obviously it can also show like how bad the other team might be. But at the same time, like what I'm looking for is communication, improvement in that throughout the whole team. The hierarchy of it, the use of it, and then the recognizing what's going on. That is it for this VOD. I'm going to end the recording now before I get more sentimental and I'm running out of things to say like Thor does during Adventures.